Yo, 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 welcome back to the greatest show on earth, the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast. I am your gracious host, Xavier Miller, and today I got another amazing episode for y'all. But as always, I would like to advise all the listeners, all the watchers, to please hit that like button, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, review, share, do all those things because this is going to be an extremely valuable episode. So we want to get this information out there so it could get to the people that really need this advice and inspiration, motivation, and all those things. And getting right to the show, I got a very, very special guest. It's my guy Josh. He's right out of Dallas. Welcome to the
What's
show,
up, man?
brother.
Thank you, man.
Glad to have you here,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Let's get straight to it. So for the people, this may be their first time seeing you, hearing
Yeah.
of you. They may have been not even paying attention to the world out there, stuck under a rock. Just give a brief background on who you are.
Yeah. So I'm Josh Pather. Came to America with 2 bags in 2001.
Okay.
Moved here for a better life. Did a bunch of different side hustles, business ventures. Got sued by Nike while I was in high school. We could touch a little bit about
Oh
that.
yeah, we gotta talk about that.
And started a photo booth business about 10 years ago.
Okay.
We did 6 figures the first year. Grew to over 800 events in Dallas. We're servicing 800 events a year by 2015. People were asking us where they could buy a photo booth from. So I started another company called Photo Booth International, where we help people start a photo booth rental business.
Okay.
So that's a quick recap.
Quick recap.
Yeah.
So going back to high school, so how you
Yeah.
get sued by Nike?
Man, so it all started. So I used to in 2004. One of my first side hustles, like grills were becoming popular, right? Like
Right.
the grills and stuff. So Nelly, Nelly the grill
Yeah.
song. So I reached out to a company in Atlanta to become a reseller for grills. So they approved me to be a reseller for them. They sent me this kit. So I'm a reseller now. I go to this barbershop in Garland, Texas called Finley Styles and Cuts. Shout out to Eric Finley. And that's where I used to get my hair cut. And he had these cases over there where you can display products. So I'm in there. I asked him, I was like, "Hey, can I come up here and sell my grills?" And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." I used to pay him, $20-$30 a week or whatever. So people would come into the barbershop. I would start selling them like, "Hey, you guys want to buy a top piece, 6-piece bottom, rose gold, princess cuts, diamond cuts, whatever." So sales were good. Sales were good. And one day, this dude walks into the barbershop with a trash bag full of Jordans. And everybody got up. I mean, they stopped cutting hair. The lady in the back, like, stopped doing eyelashes and stuff. She came over there, and like everybody got up, man, and they were like buying the shoes, and they were all excited. So I was like, all right, I'm on the wrong product here. So I go home that night, do some research, find a supplier overseas, and start a relationship with him. So I'm importing these shoes, and I'm talking about like back then the Clear Forces was in.
Yeah, that was it.
Right, the SpongeBob Forces,
Yeah.
Batman's,
Yeah.
Coogee, Vizu, like all this stuff. Like I had the latest stuff, right? And so I would be in school. I was selling them in school. So I had a catalog, get to class early, pass around the catalog, take a little deposit, and then business was good. So I was like, all right, I need to make a website now. So this is 2006. Ain't no Shopify, no WordPress, nothing like that. So I go to Yahoo sites. I make the domain comegetfresh.com. I made a Yahoo website.
Oh shit! I see where
funny
this
stuff.
going.
Yeah, so I make the site. I upload my supplier's entire catalog on there. I'm talking about Ed Hardy. I'm talking about purses, UGG boots, like anything that was like hot back then that people were trying to get. So we used to have a good relationship, me and my supplier, and we'd be chatting, and we'd be like, "Hey, can I use my name? Can I use your name on my website?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And like we got to such a good relationship. He was actually fronting shoes to me at this time now. So he would send shoes first, I would sell them, and then pay him.
Yeah, but
And so yeah, man, come home from school one day, open the mailbox, boom, Nike Corporation versus Josh Pather. And man, start shaking my shoes. They had a picture on my website. They had a picture on my supplier's website with my name on it. And then that's it. Like,
you stopped immediately.
yeah, I had to stop, man. I emailed them. I was like, "Hey, I'm just a kid in high school. Like, that's the first lesson, trademark infringement."
What?
So that's how it started.
That's amazing though, because that's an early business lesson.
It
You
is
learned that in high school. You having almost a battle with Nike in high school.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
but what did that? So what did you learn from that experience?
Man, I learned a lot. I learned how to make websites, first of all. Learn how to communicate with people overseas, suppliers, how to build relationships with them. I learned copyright infringement like it's real.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how small you are, like if you're still doing stuff you may get found. I don't know how exactly they found me because like I wasn't affecting their sales, right? Like,
Right.
I don't know how they found me, till this day. But yeah, those are some of the lessons.
Mm. So let's fast forward a bit because then you got into photo booths.
Hmm.
What sparked that? Because that's not you the first person I heard in this
Yeah.
industry. So what sparked that?
Yeah, so I was working at Bank of America. I was inside of Albertsons, and uh, I always been into music. Like I like music and stuff like that. So one of the other guys that used to work there, his name was Manny, and he was a wedding DJ. And so I always liked music and stuff. So I would go on the weekends and help him DJ. And so he got busy, and so I ended up getting my own equipment, and I started doing my own events. So I would go to the events. I would do I would do a lot of weddings basically. And if you're a wedding DJ, like it's a lot of work. Like you got to prepare for like the first song, the father daughter song, the mother son song, the entrance, like the songs for all the bridal party. They walk in. Like it's a lot of preparation. Like you're one of the first ones to get to the event. You're one of the last ones to leave.
Yeah.
And you got to load up all the equipment, and you got to be on point. You got to be dressed up good. You got to be on the mic the whole time. Like it's a ton of work. So I was doing all of that, and then I saw a photo booth at one event that I went to, and like it brought back the same memories when that dude walked in with the Jordans,
Right.
And so I'm like, man, like they got there after the event started. They left before the event ended, and like people were loving it. Like the line for the photo booth was there. Like I had to compete with them. I was like, hey, we need y'all on the dance floor. Like,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean? So I saw that there, and so hey, I got together with one of my friends, and we built our first photo booth. This was December 2012. Went to Home Depot, spent $500.
Oh, you built it yourself?
Yeah, we built it. Yeah,
So
yeah. So it was like super thick, man. You ever built a sub box?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so like you use this MDF wood in the sub box, and I don't know why we picked the heaviest wood, but it was so super heavy. We built it, painted it black, wrote photo booth on it. We had an inkjet printer, like a $50 printer from Walmart, and we had the ink cartridges. I remember it was so expensive. You ever buy ink recently for your printer?
Yeah.
It's
It's
expensive.
expensive. It's really expensive.
And then you got to buy the photo paper for that. That's even more expensive, and that thing takes like 1 to 2 minutes to print. So I mean, but we did it. We did that. Posted ads on Craigslist, and yeah,
You sold the first one. You didn't use it for yourself.
No, I did. I
Oh,
have it in the office in
you still
Rockville.
have it?
Yeah, I still got it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
memorabilia, bro.
Yeah, you got to keep that. You got
Yeah.
to keep that. So you built the first one. So when did you get to the phase where you started selling them and it became like a booming business for you?
Yeah, so we did our first event December 6th, 2012, and
Okay.
then by 2014, so about 2 years later, I noticed that people were asking us because when you go to a wedding and a party, like there's people that come from out of states, right, different cities and stuff like that for big events, and so they'll be asking like, hey, where I've never seen this before, because they haven't seen it, in their state or wherever they're from, like
Yeah.
where can I buy one, how do I get into the business, that kind of stuff. So I saw an opportunity there at that time. We were doing a ton of events, and I was like, okay, what's the next step in my career or my business venture? And so I saw an opportunity there to create Photo Booth International, where we would provide them the equipment, the training, and the support that they need to start this business.
Mm. How long did it take before this became like profitable though?
Profitable, the selling of the photo booths.
Yeah.
There's it's it was profitable from day
From
one.
day
I
one.
hate to say it, yeah, because I had I had to make an investment. I make an investment to buy the initial inventory.
Inventory.
We had to take out a loan that's, I don't know if I mentioned the business, but it's this loan that we had to take out. Like they deduct payments every single day. And
What?
so, yeah, because the business was still young then,
Okay.
and we had to take out like a loan for 25,000.
Okay.
So I had to send a check to my supplier. He was in California at the time, and so I had to do that. I had to take out a loan, and so yeah, that was really tough.
You said they take payments every day.
Yeah, every day. Yeah, it was like a loan. It was like 40% interest, and then every daily repayment, bro.
What kind
Because
of
if,
loan?
if your business is not 2 years old, like you don't have the tax
Yeah.
returns, like the banks are
Yeah.
not gonna mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I talked about this with Michael on the previous episode. I'm like, on paper, when your business not, it's that 2 year threshold that
Right.
everybody want to see. When you got that, it's gonna be hard to get some money.
Exactly.
Which is why I be advising a lot of people. I'm like, if you got a good job or a job that you can tolerate,
yeah,
at least try to stay there for the first 2 years of the business. So when you
Exactly.
transition out, getting money from other people would be very much easier to do.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wish I would have done that, but I mean, I was actually, so when I built the first photo booth, we did our first event December 6, 2012. That January, I walked into work. So I was working at Experian, the credit bureau right here in Allen. So I had a nice job, 401k, employee stock purchase plan, health insurance. We had the cafeteria there, gym,
Yeah,
everything, you know.
yeah.
And I mean, it's like, all right, cool, I can keep this. Like it was like Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, boom. And like I had full internet access, so I was like posting ads and stuff like during the workday, right? So, but yeah, walked into work one day and they're like, hey, we regret to inform you your position has been impacted by a reorganization of our company. So they actually moved the department that I was in to Costa Rica, and so they gave us an option. We could take like a severance package, or we could take like an entry level position in the company. So I took it as a sign. I'm like, hey, I got to try this out. You know, go full time. So we
Yeah.
started the business, the photo booth business, like a month before that, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me just try this full time. You know, I was like, if it's not now, you know, it's gonna be never.
Never.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to make your first million?
I'd say by year by 2015.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
That,
So it was like 3 years.
so what was that like for you from leaving corporate to starting your own business, hitting $1 million? Was that like was what was that feeling like?
Man, I just remember like going to work, right? Like I always try to anything that I do, I put my best foot forward,
Right.
right? I always try to give 100%. And I remember working in the call center, like that stuff they don't recognize it. You know what's recognized there in the call center is like if you buddy with the supervisor, you know what I mean, if you can talk to them,
Right.
you know, have small talk and all that stuff. I'm just trying to do a good job, you know, like, and I know I'm not gonna be here forever, but yeah, that stuff wasn't recognized. So I'm like, man, my hard work, I'd rather just put it into my own business. You know what I mean? So it was very rewarding for me that I knew like, okay, I had the work ethic there, right? But I was applying it to the wrong. I was applying it to my job instead to my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I took that same work ethic that I was applying at the job and I applied it to my business, it was very rewarding for me to know like, hey, I had it the whole time. You know, I was just applying it to the wrong thing.
Was you in the Dallas area the whole time too?
Yeah, I was.
So
Yeah.
you didn't leave or anything.
No.
So I could imagine in 2015 it was probably a lot cheaper than what it is right to live out here than right now.
It is, yeah. I would say so, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Because when I first came here when I came to Dallas in 2020, and it
Yeah.
was still like coming from California. I'm like, yo, this is like super affordable. But now over the years, these past 4 years, everything been going crazy out
Yeah.
here. So I can't imagine what it was like in 2014,
Yeah,
2015.
like I bought my first property like when I was 21, and I bought it in McKinney. It was 130,000 for a 3,000 square foot house in McKinney.
What?
Yeah,
How big? How many bedrooms?
it was 3,500 square feet. It was a 4 bedroom.
For 130,000.
Yeah, yeah. That's just to give you perspective. Now that same house is probably 700,000 now.
Do you still have it? No, you don't got it no more. You
I
got
had
rid of it?
to flip and
Yeah.
keep leveling up. But I wish I still kept it because yeah, that would be good now.
Yo. So what are some like? Okay, what would you say in this first 3 years, right? And you hit your first million. At that point in time, what would you say would be the biggest business lessons that you learned and experienced at that period?
I would say the biggest one, the most painful one, is like not knowing accounting.
Mm.
And so we went through like the first 5 years of business. We went to like 5 different accountants and CPAs.
Why?
Because we didn't know. Like when you're just starting off, if you're coming off a 9 to 5 job, like you're not going to be an expert in accounting, right?
Yep.
How to read a profit sheet, how to read a profit and loss statement, how to read cash flow statement, how to read a balance sheet, that kind of stuff. So we didn't want to mess around with it. We're 24, 25. We're like, nah, man, we just want to make money. We want to do events. We want to figure out how to make more money.
Right.
Like, somebody else can do that. You know, people say all the time, oh, my accountant knows that.
Yep.
Like when I hear that, I'm like, you out of there, bro. Like,
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's your
Because
thing.
you need to know, you know what I'm saying? And you need to know enough not to get screwed over. And so that's a big lesson for me. So that those first 5 years, we were like, nah, my accountant this, we'll hire somebody. So every time we went through some accountant, like we went to one guy, we got fed up with him. Like he was too slow. This guy would be on vacation. We're trying to run payroll and he wouldn't respond to us. You know, like that's the first thing. Like if you're paying somebody for a service, like they need to respond to you. You know what I mean?
Respond,
So we're paying this guy every month, but like we needing stuff. We need like hey, we need to go apply for a loan. We need to get a copy of the profit and loss statement. 3 days later is responding. You know what I mean? So it's like we had to cut that off. Then the next guy, we go to them. They're like, oh well, the last guy did this wrong. You need to redo this over here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be $500. Boom.
Yep.
So now you do that. You believe this guy. So, somebody recommended him to you, whatever. And we don't know any better at this time, right? Then the next guy, oh yeah, he did this wrong. We gotta redo it. We gotta move you to QuickBooks or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So we got frustrated. I was like, nah, this is it. Went online, went on Udemy. Udemy.
Udemy,
Yeah.
yep.
You can get courses on there. Those want to learn about that. Get a course on there. It'd be like $50 or so, something like that.
You took an accounting course.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
accounting course. Like, okay, cool. This is how it is. All right, perfect. This is how you do it. This is how you set up QuickBooks. This is, line items, expenses, categories, balance sheets, that kind of stuff. And so once we got that down, we set up our QuickBooks. And then now we just like hired bookkeepers to
manage it.
To manage it, yeah. And so that lesson was painful, man. Like over and over again, that was painful. And then, I feel like a lot of people, and this is kind of jumping a little forward, but a lot of people have missed out on the stuff, that was available during COVID because
Right.
they didn't have that stuff tight. We can touch more on that later.
Yeah. No, we can touch on it. What, like expand on it. Like, what you mean by that?
Yeah, so COVID happened. My business was affected. I'm in the entertainment industry, right? And so the government had allocated billions of dollars to help small businesses through the SBA, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you had the PPP program,
Yeah.
had the EIDL. Now they got the employee retention tax credit. Those kind of programs. A lot of business owners didn't have first of all, they didn't have their bookkeeping done properly, right? Or they couldn't get a hold of their accountant or some stuff like that. So they weren't able to take advantage of, these programs that were available to them. A lot of people, pay people under the table or, take cash and don't report it. And when it came time for like the government to help you, like the money was available to you, but people didn't have their stuff in order to be able to submit it, in a timely fashion. And so I there was billions left over, that didn't get, passed out, if you will, passed out to people who needed it because they didn't have their stuff in order. So that's why I'm a big advocate for whenever people come buy photo booths from us. Like one of the lessons is like get your QuickBooks set up, get your accounting done. Don't neglect that stuff because if something were to happen in the future, right? We're in election year right now. You don't know what's about to happen, bro.
It might get crazy.
Yeah, it might get crazy. So, but the SBA is there, man. Take advantage of it. Reach out. They have like locations all over. They got free classes. I took almost three MBA classes from the SBA for free. But you got to apply. You got to have a business. You got to be doing a certain amount. But the SBA is out there, and they're willing to help small businesses. But I think a lot of people don't take advantage of it.
I think this is a real important conversation, a topic we're discussing because, in business, we often always talk about, getting the money and how to grow your business. But in America, we know everything is just ran by documentation.
Right.
And without the right paperwork, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be screwed in the end.
Exactly.
Even if you're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
We see people that make a lot of money end up going to jail for tax evasion and stuff. You like, yo, how did that happen? They be like, I thought somebody was handling it for me.
Exactly.
And that's the nobody was handling it. Now they gotta go to jail for 2 years, 3 years. So like all this is definitely super, super important. But it's also hard. I can understand why it can be hard for people that's early in business to figure that out because it's not a simple thing when you're looking at this paperwork with your tax, profit, and loss sheets. It's not. It's the hard part of the business that nobody really want to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's like I don't want to deal with this.
We learned that lesson hard, and like what I like to do is I like to set up a Google Drive for each LLC that I have, and
A Google Drive.
Yeah, like Google Drive. So I have all the LLC documents there. Because when you set up a business nowadays, you're gonna get a lot of paperwork.
A lot.
And then you put it under the bed, like it's gonna get lost. You're gonna move, like all kinds of stuff can happen. Scan it in right away, put it into Google Drive, and you never have to worry about it again. Like you can access it anywhere you go. Like you go to a networking event, you meet a banker, and you strike up a deal. Hey, boom, you can send him your stuff right there. So have everything on the cloud. That's what I would recommend. Put in your put everything on Google Drive. You'll get your tax ID, your LLC, your operating agreement, your articles of organization, all that stuff. Keep it on there. So that time came, when COVID happened, like, the SBA needed, they like documents, bro. They want blood samples. They want everything, right?
Facts.
And so like your business doing bad, the world is ending, and now you got to come up with all these documents. And if you're not organized because you didn't do that properly in the beginning, right now you're going to be in a bad situation. And so, luckily we had all our stuff, Google Drive. We just logged in there, downloaded everything, compressed it, attached it to an email, uploaded it to the SBA stuff, and we were able to get in line because they were like windows of opportunity, like whenever they were cutting those checks, it was like, hey, it's about to run out. Like there's deadlines.
Yeah, I remember
you know
that.
what I
I
mean?
remember that.
And so yeah, if you do all that stuff ahead, you don't have to worry about it. Because when business is booming and stuff like that, last thing you want to be thinking
That's
about
the
is that
last thing you think
paperwork.
about.
Where's that paperwork I did 3 years ago signing up, or that attorney that set it up for me? This guy, gone to Jamaica
No,
now.
you're right. I remember when I bought my house, they wanted to. I had this mobile home like years ago that I sold,
Yeah.
and I was buying my house. They wanted to know like where's the bill of sale for this for when you sold that. And I'm like, yo, that was in 2019, 2020. I'm like, I
Exactly.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember none of that. So I get, but like this stuff is real. Like if you're not on top of this stuff, it can affect what you got going on if you're not on
Especially
top of it.
SBA will go back, man. They'll ask for everything, every business, and I get where they're coming from because a lot of people took advantage of
A
it. You know
lot
what
of
I
people
mean?
did.
Like they were out there, boys, getting new Lambos, APs, everything.
APs,
You know,
penthouses.
pay houses, yeah. So
They coming back to get them though.
yeah, they did come back to get them. Yeah,
They come there. So it's been people they've been coming back to get. So let's fast forward a bit. So after you found some success within the business, this is 2015. So what was the following steps after that?
the following steps was the rental business. I did 800 events in 2015. I mean, we were doing
A team or just
yeah, a
you?
team. Yeah, no.
Okay.
So we had like 30 people. We had like 7 company vehicles under my name. Like it was a lot. You know what I mean? Like and so I was working like 5 days in the office. We were booking events. Then on the weekends, I'm working events. So I'm getting crushed. And this is already year 3 now of doing this. And so I'm like, okay, if I want to make more money, I need to do more events. I need to have more vehicles. I was like, this is not the play right here. So that's when I was like, okay, we need to start selling these photo booths to people, helping them out, and I can scale that faster because that's just a product I can just package and ship out to them. So what we did is we started taking on less events and charging more money. So by 2016, like we were more profitable than we were in 2015 because our intention was to do less events. So we raised our prices up higher. By this time, this is our 4th year in business. We already had a well-established brand. We worked with like a lot of corporate companies,
Yeah.
yeah, Capital One, Pizza Hut. We were working with Dallas Mavericks, Poopery, the bathroom spray. We did events for them, and so I had to make a decision like, hey, let me go ahead and start this other business, Photo Booth International, where we can scale it up more without having to hire, a ton more people. We have more leverage in that business because it's an e-commerce business, at the end
Right.
of the day. And so we ended up exiting. We sold the rental business in 2017, and then we went full in with Photo Booth International that year. But we started Photo Booth International in 2015, so there was a little bit of overlap there while we were kind of getting it off the ground. But yeah, a couple came in. They were like, "Hey, we wanted to, we want to build a big business," and we're like, "Hey, you want to buy this? You want to buy our business instead?" They were like, "Yeah," and so they ended up striking a deal with them, and we closed the deal within 1 week. And
Oh, so you sold your business within a week.
yeah, it
Was
was
you?
quick.
Did you already have an idea that you wanted to exit out of it?
I did, yeah, but I didn't know
Yeah.
how, and I didn't know who. But you just gotta manifest that stuff. It's like, hey, you gotta put it out there in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this couple came in and they were like, they were hungry. They wanted it. And they I remember the girl. She said one thing. She said, "I want to be just like y'all." I was like, "You can.
You can't be just like us. You can buy the business.
You want to buy the business. So I saw an opportunity there. I said, "Hey, you got to move quick." Boom, opportunity came, and I was ready. Was prepared. We had
Did
the
you have to
books tied.
negotiate?
I'm
Was
sorry?
it a steep negotiation process?
It wasn't. I mean, the package that we gave them. I mean, you're talking about they got. So it was an asset sale that we did. So we did an asset sale. I kept the LLC, but I sold the assets off.
Okay.
Just to keep things clean. Because selling the LLC, it's like a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, a lot of paperwork.
It gets a little daunting. So to keep it simple for everyone, we did an asset sale. So we sold the website, the bookings that we had, the company vehicle, the photo booths, the equipment, those kind of things. So it was easy for them. It was a no-brainer because they were literally buying all the equipment, all the vehicles, and probably like 35 bookings. So they were making money from day one.
From day one.
Yeah.
It was in the green.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart. That's how you do it if you're gonna buy a business.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
don't want to have to wait to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what would you say? What would you say is if you had like 3 money principles that you live by? What would yours be?
2 or 3 money principles. Uh, that's a good one. I like to like one of the money principles I like to say is I don't invest all the money back into my business. I invest it into like right now. My long-term exit strategy is to be into real estate, and so I leverage my business now to purchase real estate. Like the building that I operate in, I own that building. And so the previous building I was in, I owned that building as well.
Really?
And so I peel off some of the profits and I'll purchase real estate with it. I'm always going to need, if I'm doing business, I'm always going to need a place to operate my business, right? And so we look for like light industrial real estate. That's for like plumbers, HVAC, lawn care companies, and my business falls under that category. That's kind of real estate that we need to operate our business from. So I've been renting. So up until when did I buy that building? I bought it in 2018. So from 2013, we started off in 2 storage units, and then we rented our first place. But from 2013 to 2018, we were renting, and so I'm like, I don't want to pay other people's
Other
rent,
people rent.
So I like to peel off some of my money, put it into real estate, and then put the rest. I like investing into Bitcoin.
Okay.
And yeah, I like to not keep a lot in my checking account because subconsciously you're gonna want to spend it.
That's facts.
And so I like to like live poor in my checking account. So I'm like making decisions like, do I really need this $40,000? You know what I mean?
You
Something.
go shopping right now?
Yeah, go shopping right now. So I would say that, and then I'd say investing in masterminds would be the other thing. Like
Get new information?
Yeah, get new information. Like it's funny, man. As entrepreneurs, like sometimes I look back, I'm like, man, I dropped like, we go on vacation, like we'll go drop 10, 20K, right?
Yep.
But then you go like this mastermind 5,000, you're like,
Oh,
I don't
ain't
know,
doing
man.
that. Yeah.
So it's like something that I have to keep in check. So that's like a money principle. It's like I gotta compare, like, okay, what am I spending money on pleasure?
Education.
And make sure that I'm matching it with the education side. Like I just invested into Russell Brunson's mastermind. That's like 50,000 a year. And so I mean it's already paid off.
Really?
The first meeting. Just like meeting new people in there and able to level up and surround yourself with heavy hitters.
That's important. What was your decision to do the ranch style living as opposed to living in the city? And I'm always interested about people because I know everybody has their own different reasonings. So what was yours?
I lived in the city, bro. I lived in Addison, so that was my second place. After I sold that place in McKinney, I moved to Addison, Preston, and Beltline, Berry Trail condos.
Okay.
So I bought that place for 80,000. It was
80,000.
a 2 bedroom, yeah,
When was
2 bedroom
this?
condo. This is 2012, bro.
80,000?
Yeah, 80,000. Like right now, like my mom sold one over there for like 250. It's the same thing. Yeah,
That's
that was a
crazy.
play back there. Yeah, so.
Damn, Texas was the goddamn move, man.
Yeah, it was a move. Yeah. So we got lucky. We're blessed over here in Texas. But yeah. So I was living there, man, right in the mix. This was the time, we were doing the rental business and stuff, so it was easy for me to get around
Right.
Dallas, around that time. But then space, man, like you just want space, and like we're in a different chapter now, trying to start a family, and so that was the reason. We moved out to, what was that, after Addison, we went to Lavon. This was like before Lavon was popping. And yeah, we moved out there. Then now it's like crazy amount of houses are coming out there. D.R. Horton building 500, 600 houses. So from there we went to Rockwall, and then we just wanted to have more space,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just about space, bro. To be honest, I mean Texas is about landing
About
cattle.
landing
We talked about this
Yeah,
like
we
on
did.
the phone.
Yep.
Like they don't care about Lambos and
Lambos and
Cybertrucks and all that. Like it's like how much cattle you got, how many heads you got,
Facts.
how many acres you got.
No, facts.
So
That's real.
It's a Texas thing, and you drive by these ranches, you like see other people's ranches, see their cattle and stuff.
You
and,
like,
and just get
damn, I want
motivated.
something like that.
Yeah, but it's a more relaxing. I mean, the city life is cool and everything for a different stage, but now
That's
it's like we're in a different chapter now.
I was going to ask you, like, what do you think some of the biggest differences from like that city life and not being like the more country living type of thing?
That's a good one. So I remember, man, one Christmas morning, bro, I was staying in those condos over there, and the neighbor, it was a single woman. She just lived by herself, miserable lady. And so somebody was parked in her parking spot, and it was like 9 a.m., bro. So
Christmas morning.
Yeah, Christmas morning, bro. Christmas morning. So, dude, she's livid now, right? So she comes to my door. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I get my, you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Somebody banging on the door like that.
I get my, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
get my heater. So I'm like, all right, I got this thing behind me. I was like, all right, who's this? So I'm ready now. I brought him in my boxers, dog. I opened up. I was like, who the hell's parked in my parking spot? I was like,
shit, I don't know.
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is that? Well, yeah, she was like, she didn't know what to say, you know? Slammed the door in her face. And so now, fast forward to now, right? On the ranch, like our neighbors, bro, like they cook food and send it
Send it over.
over. Like, hey, you guys need anything? We hang out with them. We went over for Thanksgiving. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're closer now with our neighbors, and we got 100 feet between the houses. Right.
Right.
Back then we got 10 feet. Or we're sharing the same wall, and we're not as close. We hate each other. You know what I mean? So that would be the difference, I would say, for me personally.
Yeah, no, no,
The
no.
people's
I'm
way
with
better.
you, and the people definitely
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I agree with that, and it's also it's a lot more peace and quiet now.
Yeah, it's quiet,
Which
man. In the
limits
morning.
distractions.
Yeah, I go for a walk in the morning. You can hear the birds, hear the wind. You know,
Yeah.
like there's something
See the
to
stars
that,
at
man.
night.
Yeah, you see the stars at night. See the eclipse, whatever.
Right. No facts.
Yeah.
It is like it's and also from I realize with me personally, I spend way less money now
Yeah.
living not being in the city.
Yeah. Not yeah.
In the
You
city,
get caught up here, man.
you get it's always
Yeah,
something.
it's always
It's
something,
always
man.
nightlife, or you get
Nightlife.
invited to some. I
Go to
live
a
right next
dinner.
to get
Yeah.
dinners, and I was right next to the Mavs arena, so I'm always at
Oh, you were
games,
in the mix.
getting invited to. I mean, I was
Yeah.
like in a mix, bro. So now being in the complete opposite, of that, it's just like nothing.
You want to come out? Nah, I don't know if I want
Nah,
to drive on
I
that
ain't about to
bridge,
drive no hour,
bro.
bro. I'm
We
cool.
got a bridge. Let me
Right.
tell you about this bridge on I-30.
no, no, facts. That's real, bro. So at this point, like, because you've been in business for what's it been
It's like
13,
yeah, 13.
14?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a long time, bro. So
Yeah.
what is just to get some game for the younger listeners and viewers, like what would be your biggest piece of advice for somebody that's venturing into this now, like this entrepreneurship thing?
I'd say focus. Find one person, man. I think a lot, now
Like a
like with
mentor, you mean?
yeah, like
Okay.
yeah, because like right now TikTok, Instagram, all this stuff, like people just getting so much information, bro. Like right now, information is not a problem. You know what I mean? Execution is the problem. People are not executing on the information, but now they got too much information, right? One guy's saying, "Hey, you need a Wyoming LLC." Some guy's saying, "Get a shell company in Dubai,
Right.
start something in Costa Rica, bury your loved one in your backyard, not to pay the property taxes."
Right,
You heard
right.
that one?
I
Like
heard that.
it's so much going around right
Yeah.
now. So like you got to figure out, hey, which path you want to go down and then go deep on that. Whichever person, whichever route you want to go in. But you got to cut out a lot of the noise because right now it's too much noise that's happening out there and shiny object syndrome. Like I can imagine like if I was just starting off now, I'd be like, man, listen to this person, listen to that person, listen to this person, and then like eventually you start taking in so much information, the information starts conflicting.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean? And so just pick one person, and if make sure that person has what you want:
Yep.
health, wealth, love, happiness. The 4 pillars, and then go deep with them.
Go tunnel vision with it.
Yeah, go tunnel vision with it, and you'll be way ahead than somebody chasing 10 opportunities at the same time.
Yeah. Were you at when you was in because you still doing it, but was you ever tempted to like you said with the shiny object syndrome to like venture away from what you doing because you seen this or that thing?
I did.
You
Yeah,
did?
I did. Yeah, it was like, man, drop shipping.
Yeah.
Drop shipping is like, man, you just okay. You do what? You just set up this website and you do this and then I think Hamosi was like saying, you can't focus on one business. Even Warren Buffett's like focus on one thing, get that. Russell
Thing
Brunson
growing.
says that like get one business. I see people nowadays like, bro, they're doing credit repair, they're a real estate agent, they do
Facts.
lashes, they do tattoos, like they do cleaning houses. I mean,
Real
all
estate.
never made $1 million before, no LLC set up. I was like, bro, you doing bookkeeping separate for each business? What are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like just focus on one thing. Because you're not going to be able to set up 5 social media accounts for 5 businesses.
Run them all, post every day.
This podcast takes a lot of work, right?
A lot.
Imagine if you had 5 different podcasts, bro. Like
It wouldn't
it's
be-
not
it
going to
wouldn't
work,
happen.
man. So that's a fallacy, man. That multiple sources of income in the beginning is like you should focus on one, right? But and then as you grow, maybe you get past the 7-figure
That's
mark.
what I was gonna ask.
You can start adding on, but you want to add something that's in line with what you do already, not something completely opposite.
So you can integrate it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So from in your opinion, you think before you start another business, you should make at least 7 figures.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fair because I mean you're just cheating on your original business. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like don't. Ty was like, don't cheat with a
Don't cheat on your
mistress. Yeah,
don't cheat
don't cheat
on.
on your business. Like, it's working, bro. Like if it's working, if you're doing one business, right, and you see someone else doing, 7, 8 figures with that same business, like why is your business not there? Because you haven't figured out what's missing. But now you go and start something else. Now you're dividing your attention between that, and a lot of people get caught up with that. They do because people out here, you need 7 streams of income, but not in the beginning. Focus on one thing. Because if I was starting multiple businesses, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and all the businesses would not be anywhere where you would even want me on this podcast. You know what I mean?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
No, I respect that a lot because you see things like on social media where it's like people try to do a million things at once because they hear like I need X amount of streams of income.
Yeah.
They say the average millionaire has 7 streams,
Yeah.
so I need to have at least 7 streams. But they're only making not even 6 figures yearly. It's like,
Right.
yo, you need to like mash down on that and grow that thing. So I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. That keeps you focused, it keeps you organized, I believe, and it's just it's easy for when bullshit comes around. Because what I learned this in business, like there's always gonna be some bullshit, like whether it's people, whether it's some kind of opportunities, whether it's when it's always something that's going to come around that's going to distract you. It might take money from you, whatever the case may be. If you got one thing that you all in on, it makes it so hard for those distractions to penetrate.
Yeah.
Like, but if you got a million different things you're doing, I feel like you're more susceptible to the BS.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll get caught up. Become the category king. Become the best.
The category king. I
Yeah,
never heard of
category
that.
king. Yeah, this is something that Russell made up. He was like, when he said that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I should be the photo booth king. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I got to stay on top because there's boys out there still. There's younger cats coming up now, and I got to make sure like, hey, I'm doubling down. I'm keeping sharp. I'm staying on top of on top of my industry. And if I was chasing 10 rabbits, it wouldn't be the same. So become the best at what you do, and you'll have a successful business.
You have a extremely successful
You
business.
had Kevin Kelly on here.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So like what he does like with the restaurants.
With the restaurants.
Like he's an entertainment. You know what I mean? Like he mastered that. He got it unlocked. Like
Yeah.
he's
opening up a new spot.
Yeah.
We just talking about it.
Yeah. And so like, and how many restaurants fail right now? You know what I mean?
Man, most.
But he was talking about he's the best at what he does, and he's
Yeah.
focused at that.
No, that's it. So what would you say? What is your 3 favorite books?
My 3 favorite books. The first one would be 10X Rule.
By Grant Cardone?
Yeah, by Grant Cardone.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say the next one would be Expert Secrets.
Expert Secrets?
Yeah.
That's by Russell Brunson,
Yeah,
right?
Russell Brunson.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one for anybody just kind of like starting off. And then I like The Art of War with Sun Tzu.
With Sun Tzu?
Yeah.
Okay. Why you like that one?
I just because I'm a 8 Enneagram, so if you look at that in the personality test, like confrontational, that kind of stuff. So I need to make sure that the moves that I'm making, can result in success.
With that being said, there's an old saying that I used to hear all the time, and I believe in it, but I want to get your opinion on it. They say business is warfare.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean it's true. It is. At the end of the day, I don't care about my competitors. I like them because they make the market keep the prices high. You know what I mean? But it is warfare. Every day, I tell my wife, I was like, I go out, hey, babe, I'm gonna be on the front lines today.
I'll be on the front lines.
I tell her that, and we are like, wait, what's happening in the front, and you gotta conquer, just keep conquering and expanding.
Yeah, because there's someone out here trying to take your customers.
Yeah, there is. They got
Take money at food.
customers are trying to, customers get upset. They want to file lawsuits now. You just got to be ready for war, man. You got to be ready. You start a business. You have any amount of success, you're going to end up in some lawsuits. Are you going to be able to survive? If you can't, you get that cease and desist. I got my first cease and desist when I was 17. So it ain't nothing. Bring it, bro. We're ready. We got lawyers on retainer now. You know what I mean? So like, it is war. It is war, and you got to approach it like that. Else you're gonna get slaughtered out there because there's ruthless people. There's blood on the streets. Ty says like there's the billionaires that he rolls with is like, man, they've shed blood You know, there's bloodshed on the streets when it comes to that level. You know, and so as you're
Yeah,
rising
it
up,
is. And not to cut you off, I want to just just compound on what you're saying because it's so true. Like I'm not even gonna say a name, but I have a friend that's really close with somebody that's extremely successful, like probably a billionaire, and she's like, I want you to meet him.
yeah,
And I'm like, all right, she's like, I want you to fly to Miami. Like I told him about you. He wants to meet you, vice
yeah,
versa. I want you to meet him. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool. But she was like, before you meet him, I just want to give you a heads up just on like what kind of person he is. She's like, so he does this thing where he does background checks on anyone that get kind of like close to him.
yeah,
And she's like, not only that, like he'll probably try to get you drunk or something. He likes to drink. He'll probably try to get you to drunk to like get some dirt on you.
yeah,
And I'm like, what? I'm like, why? She was like, just for leverage, just for later, like potentially later on. She was like, this is what he does.
yeah,
She was like, and not only that, she was like, every year he gives his lawyer $1 million at the top of the year to like file like BS lawsuits on his competitors. And when she told me all this stuff, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need, no knock to do, but I don't even want to be around somebody that's kind of trying to like
start stuff.
yeah, do weird little shit like that. I'm cool on it. And this dude is extremely successful. So in my mind, I'm like, if he's doing it at that level, at that 9-figure, maybe 10-figure level, I can only imagine like his competitors or people that's similar at that level probably do similar things to that. So when you talk about warfare, that's just a small example
Yeah.
on how mess. I don't even want to say messy on how strategic shit can get
Yeah,
within business.
right.
So it's a real thing.
Yeah, it is. That's funny you brought the getting you drunk thing. I had a guy who used to work at he used to sell life insurance, like big policies, 10, 20, 30 million policies. And so, no, actually, he was in banking at the time. This is before he did that. And so, when you interview someone, you know, at that high level, getting into high level banking, like part of the interview is like, hey, you take them out and you go get drinks with them.
Yeah.
You know, and then you kind of
Yeah.
they reveal stuff, you
They
know, and
reveal.
you see a different side of the person. And so yeah, it's all
Yeah.
strategy. The stuff happens
It's how it
behind closed
happens.
doors. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
when she told me about the private investigator, I'm like, he get a private investigator to investigate anybody that's coming around him to get
Yeah.
like find out what their secrets is, what their dirt is, and all
Yeah.
that kind of shit. I'm like, yo, what? Like,
I like to hear his story. Like what
yeah, like what
like what's
made
your
him
trauma, bro? Like
right.
what happened to make you like that? I want to hear that story. You know what I
No.
mean? Because we all
Something happened.
something happened. Like
Yeah.
what? Like tell me that story that got you doing that. Because at one point you wasn't like this.
No,
You know. And
nobody's
so,
just born
yeah,
doing
nobody
this.
born like that. Like,
So
who
something
did
happened.
what to you?
No, that,
I like that story.
No. It's very interesting. The business I've always been fascinated with business because it's just so like not only with the money thing and the power you can get from and controlling your destiny and the people around you, but it's also takes a lot of strategy. It's a thinking person's game. You
Yeah.
can't be you're never going to meet a wealthy business person that's an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might not be the brightest person in the world,
Yeah.
but they're not completely just a dumbass.
To keep it.
To
you
keep
can make
it, you're right. You can make it,
Yeah,
but
you can make it, but to keep it.
that's
'Cause
good
you
correction.
lose it,
That's a
yeah.
good correction.
To keep
To
it,
make
yeah.
it and keep it and
Yeah.
manage it, you have to have some kind of wits to you. Because
Exactly.
I have met people that made money quick, especially during COVID. You got
Yeah.
COVID millionaires that might have
Right.
lost it or throw it away because it's not as hard to get it once, but
It
it's
is,
hard
yeah.
to keep it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody can making it and keeping it and growing it. 3 separate strategies. You know, 3 separate mindsets. I mean,
What you think is what do you think? Because you touched on accounting.
Yeah.
What else do you think is the trick, or I don't even say trick, or the tip to manage it? Because I feel like people don't talk about this enough. Like managing your money, this really needs to be taught in schools, in my opinion, because it's not easy at all.
yeah, it's not, bro. I mean, you know, I talk to some people, family members and stuff like that. It's like they make the money. They just make money. They put a little bit in savings and then they spend it. That's the only 3 activities they do.
Make
You know,
it, put in savings,
Put a little bit in savings. Like, okay, we make a $500 paycheck. We're putting $50 in savings, right? so and like so that activity needs to stop. The next activity needs to be added to that is they need to be investing into it. You know what I mean? And so like if you're just getting started, like you can invest S&P 500, put a little bit in Bitcoin. Like, hey, not financial advice by any means, but you know you gotta start there. You know, there's so many people that's just making it and saving it and spending it. That's it. You know, if you're just doing those 3, like you're gonna lose. you're gonna lose right now. I mean, forever. But
Yeah.
you got to get into investing, and when I tell people that, I tell people all the time, like, hey, like, start investing. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, in the age of information, like,
You
you
don't know
don't
how to
know. Like,
invest. You
okay,
don't want
fine,
to know.
perfect. I'm glad you don't know, because all you got to do is buy an ETF that has, S&P 500,
Yeah,
has
SP
500
500.
stocks.
Yup.
Just buy a little bit buy a little bit of that every week. That's it. But when do I sell it? But when do I?
Yeah,
See,
everybody
now,
asks that. You
right?
thinking too?
Yeah, you're thinking too much. And the
Yeah.
only reason, because of that, because you're on TikTok and the dude said, hey, you got to buy this and sell that and trade this and DeFi and all this stuff. Like, and everybody got confused.
Yeah. Every
That's the story about that.
mm. And you also, from my understanding, you teach people how to get in the photo booth business, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
what we do.
so break that process down.
Yeah, so whenever they come to purchase a photo booth from us, the whole point of starting the company was to give something turnkey, right? Like when I'm trying to hire a vendor or something, if I buy something, I wanted to solve a problem. The problem that I wanted to solve was a problem that I had 10 years ago when I was starting off. It's like I needed a mentorship, I needed guidance, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I didn't know. So when you come to purchase from us, we're going to give you access. We have a partnership with an LLC company to help you get set up. Then after that, you get your LLC. Then we help you get set up with a bank account. We like to use Novo. I don't know if you ever heard of Novo. It's like an online business bank.
Okay.
Yeah, so we like to use that. We're going to give you the business contracts. We're going to give you a CRM. We just work with a company now that partnered up with them, gave them a CRM, and we're going to give you all the training that you need to run the business. So you're going to get it. It's like a franchise almost, but we're not charging any fees for that. It's just part of the package that you're going to get. But it's going to solve your problem of you're not going to have to go out there, buy this equipment, then go figure out how to build a website. We're going to give you a website, how to do CRM, how to do LLC, all that stuff. We're going to help you set all that up so you can hit the ground running. And so that's really the steps that we like to take people to. You can get through that whole process in about 2 weeks or so. So you can
Really?
be up and running, in 2 weeks.
That's quick.
Yeah.
That's quick. Did you like always have this mindset? Because you probably did. Because you said even back in high school you were still doing entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah.
So like where did that come from?
That's a good question. So I think, because I think about where it came from before we moved to America in 2001. So we moved here like 1 week after 9/11. So it was tough, bro. And so I was like 10 years old at the time. And uh, we had to sell everything we had. So like we opened the front door, we put a for sale sign. People will come in, they buy the couch, the
In India
refrigerator.
or here?
No, South Africa.
South
South
Africa.
Africa.
I don't know. I thought you said India. Yeah.
Yeah, South Africa. So they would come and buy everything, bro. They would like buy my toys, buying like anything in the house because we had to get rid of everything, right? We had 2 bags to pack. Each of us had 2 bags. 4 family members: my mom, dad, my sister, and me. So the rest of the stuff we couldn't sell, we put it in the back of the trunk, and we went to this flea market.
And just got rid of it.
And then, yeah, so I'm out there at 10 years old selling
Slanging.
my stuff, my toys, my Legos, my marbles, my Matchbox cars, like all that stuff. And so that's my first transaction, and it's like, it's traumatic, bro. Like back then doing that stuff because you're like trying to process, like, man, coming to America, 2 bags, 9/11, no family, no contacts, no nothing over here, starting fresh from zero, And so I think just that's where that hustle came from. It's like, man, we burned the ships, ain't no going back, and we had to come here and make a better life for ourselves.
But that probably also took away like that fear of I feel because I feel like when people go through experiences like that at such a young age, it kind of strips them of a fear of ever, like when it comes to sales,
Oh
when it
yeah,
comes to
yeah, for sure.
negotiation, when it
Yeah,
comes to even possibly taking L's. It's like
yeah, that's part of the
I've
game.
been here before,
Yeah, I mean, I came here with nothing, bro. So I'm
right?
up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, yeah, I don't have, a fear of failure. Fear of failure, it ruins more dreams than actual failure will. You know?
But do you feel like the more success you get, the more? Because I talk to a lot of successful people, and they also say like the more successful they get, the more they kind of get worried about losing it. So they, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
it's not paying offense as much no more. It's kind of like I'm on defense
yeah,
now.
defense. Yeah, you become a bigger target. Like Ty talks about that. You don't want to be the most Google man on the earth, right? Because you got people breaking into his house and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I can understand that you become a target. People want to come after you, and you do get that feeling, especially when you got leverage out there on stuff, and when stuff like COVID happens. I mean, it's like, dang, what if this happens again? Like, how are you going to prepare for the next one? You made it through the first one. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in the world that it's in the back of your mind for sure. I think a lot of people have that, but there's a number I think that everybody has that they think that when you get to that you'll be okay, and so you just keep striving towards that number. Yeah.
That's probably a mandatory thing to create that number. You were
Yeah,
saying,
you got to carry like, okay, cool. When I get to this, and we got no debt, well insulated, got the trust set up. It's things that you got to do, have in place so that you can feel better. But you do become a target, man. It's a law of averages. I mean, you doing more transactions, one of those transactions is going to go bad. That's just what it is, and then lawsuits and all kinds of stuff could come after you. But you got to stay protected, man. I mean, you got to have stuff set up, you know.
This is the final question I got for you. What would you say is the most important trait? Because somebody that's watching this, right, and they want to do similar things you done, find similar successes you have. So, what would you say is the most important trait for someone to have to follow in those steps, and also give them a piece of like advice on how to do it as well?
Yeah, I would say you gotta. I don't want to make it sound so easy, but first of all, you gotta do whatever it takes. A lot of people, you spend so much time thinking about taking action or what you want to do, or I need to like when people come start the photo booth business. Oh, I've been researching for 2 years.
2 years.
You know how much money you lost in 2 years? You lost more money than you're gonna save trying to find the best price. So you will learn more from taking action than you will from waiting and doing research. And so whatever it is you're trying to do, get out there and get it started on it, because you're going to learn more from that. And you may learn what not to do. And that's okay. Like I learned, like, okay, I need to not know, like I need to make sure I know accounting, right? And that served me well for my next business. But had I not gone out there and started that, then I wouldn't have known that, And so I'd say to go out there, get started on something, stay focused, if you can cut out social media because it ain't doing good for nobody. You know what I mean? Like cut it out.
It's probably hard for people because their business is attached to social media somehow.
I mean, limited. You know what I mean? Limited to 1 hour a day. There's an app called Opal that you can put on there and block it. Yeah, Opal. Yeah, you can do that. Block social media because there's people spending hours a day on it. I mean, we're all guilty of it, bro. You know what I mean? And that's just sucking away from your dreams because you can be out there learning, you can be out there building, and you can be out there networking and finding the right deals. So that would be my advice. Stay focused. Go out there, start it. No matter, even if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, because I didn't when I got started.
Right.
There was no mentors, bro. There's no.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Podcast in 2012.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, Ty was barely getting started back then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't around, so we just had to figure it out. But we learned. We learned every step. We learned along the way, and that makes you a strong entrepreneur down the path.
That's game, man. I want to say before we wrap up, I want to say I appreciate you coming on the show and giving my audience some valuable gems that I truly appreciate that. Before I let you go, do you mind plugging in all your stuff where people can find you, follow you, become a mentee of yours, like everything you got going on?
Okay, yeah, guys, if you want to check me out on Instagram at NextLevelJP. If you want to start a photo booth business, it's Photo Booth International here in Dallas, Texas. We ship all over the world. You can check us out online at photoboothint.com.
And I'm gonna make sure I put the link to those things in the show notes of this episode. So before we wrap up, I would like to advise our listener watchers, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all platforms at the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast. And you can follow me at Xavier Miller, and that's all platforms as well. I appreciate y'all tuning into another episode of the podcast. See you guys next episode. Peace.
Peace out.